a Fox News exclusive. A storied military unit hurt by budget cuts, forced to do more with less, now having difficulty performing its mission. National security correspondent Jennifer Griffin has this in-depth story tonight from Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
In 2003, at the start of the Iraq War, the U.S. military relied on the 101st Airborne Division to transport roughly 4,000 American troops deep into enemy territory in one night, landing in Mosul, forcing the Iraqi army to fight on two fronts. Years earlier, General Dwight Eisenhower relied on the Screaming Eagles to jump behind enemy lines on D-Day, giving them the element of surprise. But now, after 6 years of budget cuts, Army commanders say it would be difficult to carry out those operations today.
We used to have 2 aviation brigades here, over 200 aircraft, and now we're down to just 1 aviation brigade and slightly over 100 aircraft.
So if you had to move out tomorrow and do a brigade-level assault, could you do it?
We could not.
The strain was apparent when we visited Fort Campbell, Kentucky, home to the 101.
Our requirements haven't really reduced. So what you have is an inexperienced maintenance group that has to support a high tempo of flight hours, and it has a wear and tear on the force.
Colonel Craig Alia is the commander of the 101's remaining combat aviation brigade. He says the problems were compounded when President Obama imposed strict caps on troop numbers in Afghanistan.
When this combat aviation brigade deployed to Afghanistan in 2015, they had to leave their maintainers behind. The result, nearly 1,000 Army helicopter mechanics lost nearly a year of training.
Their skills atrophied, and some of the most senior experienced Apache mechanics left for other jobs.
Our maintainers left back here didn't have a fleet of aircraft to work on.
And the military had to spend $106 million to pay contractors in Afghanistan to do the job of these Fort Campbell mechanics.
Next to it here is a Hellfire.
Robert Hodgson is an Apache pilot. He says the decision to leave the maintainers at home has nearly doubled maintenance time.
It'll take anywhere from 30 to 45 days normally.
And how long has it taken them?
Here it's taken us almost 60 days just based on experience.
So twice as long.
And it is not just a shortage of experience. These World War II era buildings where the maintenance is done are spread across Fort Campbell's 170,000 acres, leading to more inefficiency.
If we even look at the ceiling, you can see where the water damage is causing the wood itself to begin to dry rot out.
Former DoD Comptroller Robert Hale, who served the Obama administration, warned the military is exaggerating the readiness problem.
This is a time when the services, if you will, want to put their worst foot forward and make clear all the problems that are there. So I think we ought to be a little skeptical.
The Army Vice Chief raised alarm bells when he testified that only 3 out of 58 Army combat brigades could deploy right now after 6 years of belt tightening.
When we say fight tonight, that means that unit needs no additional people, no additional training, and no additional equipment. And 3 is where we're at today.
Commanders strip what they need from other units to keep deploying.
When you reduce the overall size of the military and reduce the amount of brigades that you have to deploy, yet the demand on those goes up, you're going to have to deploy those more often. That induces stress.
The Army downsized by 40,000 soldiers 2 years ago. Now it wants 30,000 more troops. President Trump's budget will increase funding for the military by $54 billion. But some of this can't be solved by new recruits. Those troops still have to fix old equipment, and that takes time. At Fort Campbell, Kentucky, Jennifer Griffin, Fox News.